escape from this love, 'cause I'm a prisoner. I just want to look my way and never back to you.
What's going on, folks? Music is a bit too loud. Can't hear my own voice. We're swapperooed. Yeah. We kicked City's butt. Well, I mean, we didn't kick their butt. I mean, we did kick their butt, to be honest with you, I think. I got something in my eye. What about yourself, Mr. Cody?
I wouldn't say we kicked their butt.
I don't know. The second half, dude. We pretty much kicked their butt. I'm still so happy that I'm crying. No, I literally have something in my eyeball.
I thought we were the better team and that we looked better with the ball despite only possessing it 34%. It didn't feel like that. I thought we played better than we did last November when we beat them 2-0. But at the same time,
you know, they could have had one or two.
We weren't clinical, right?
No,
even Son's goal, if Ruben Diaz doesn't get his cleat stuck in the pitch, that's probably not a goal. You know, he fell over because he got kind of jammed on the pitch. But we had a few chances that we should have buried as well. I think the result was fair. We definitely earned all 3 points.
Yeah, and
you know, like they didn't have very many quality chances.
Yeah, no, I think it wasn't even until the second half that Reese even had to touch a ball, or had to touch a ball. I mean, he did come out in the first half and do that. I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah, see, like there were some plays where it seemed like, you know, he made the one save with the palm of his hand, and it just kind of fell into a very dangerous area, and Davinson Sanchez just happened to be there to clear it. You know, we were in the right place at the right time. Whether that's, if you want to call that luck, or if you want to say that luck is a residue of design, doesn't matter. Final score 1-0, 3 points for us. Off on the right foot, sitting 10th in the table.
17th is wasn't it? Or we're sitting 10th, yeah.
We're currently 10th because there were no draws this weekend, and we won by the slimmest margin.
Yeah. Well, I think it was 7th through 10th were all tied, right? One goal. Yeah,
but of those 4 teams alphabetically, we come last. So
actually, we didn't. Watford was above us. I think they literally the Premier League just had an agenda against us and put us last.
Really? I wonder if it's because they what's the next tiebreaker? Number of goals? Because they scored three times.
I don't know, maybe it's yellow cards or something like that. It might be number of goals scored. Goals for.
No. Hey, listen, I don't think I wouldn't say that there were too many supporters who could have sat there and honestly said that they would have expected 3 points.
No, I was hoping to get out of there with 1.
If we had lost, we wouldn't have been making a big deal about it. It wouldn't have been a shocker that we lost to Man City, despite having a fairly strong record against them. I think that in the league we've only lost once in the last 5 games.
I think I would have been a little more upset at Harry Kane, though.
Yeah, it's hard to know what result would have suited Harry Kane better, because now, you know, it's almost like Levy has even more bargaining power to kind of twist the knife and turn the screw and ask for even more money. Who knows?
I saw my American Eagle on screen. I thought it was something on my shirt, so I'm like, why won't that come off? Because it's embroidered on my shirt. Yeah. And then we're in season 2. And for folks that are watching at home, Cody's more famous than I am. I just joined the Atlanta supporters group. Great club. If you live in the area, go ahead and give them a support. And somebody posted for the first time, I seen post Cody Mack's tweet in the group. And so I commented on the post, and I simply said, "Oh, you guys follow Cody Mack on Twitter?" I was like, "Small world, ha ha ha." And then the guy comments, he's like, He's like, yeah, well, of course. I watched it was the one where you put the one with Tanganga shoving Jack Grealish to the ground. And he was like, yeah, I watched it last night. And he's like, yeah, and I think you. And he was talking to me. He was like, I think you're kind of our new secret weapon. We should bring you down in a limo. So I'm assuming that because they followed you, that they knew who I was, and that they were joking about bringing me down in a limo to the watch alongs. Because I said it was basically the watch alongs like an hour away. I was like, it's a bit far. I'd love to go, but that early in the morning it's a little tough. And so I was like, yeah, eventually I want to come down. I want to, every game that's at 3 p.m. or something like that, I'll probably definitely be there. Yada, yada, yada. And he was like, what kind of live show are you going to do? Are you a magician? No. I have a YouTube channel. And
I have the biggest Spurs YouTube channel based in North America.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, cool. No.
But you know Cody Mack, right?
Yeah, but they knew who Cody Mack was. I was like, he's kind of like the co-host on. So that's what I said. I literally said that in the group. I was like, oh, I figured that since you knew Cody Mack and he's a co-host on one of my shows, that you knew who I was as well. But no, Twitter's more famous than YouTube apparently. But that was funny. And then it's like, oh yeah, what do we do? Do we just Google you or whatever? And so I gave him the name of the channel. But it was pretty funny. I got a good kick out of it.
Yeah, that tweet's gone fairly viral. If I haven't already, it's closing in on 5,000 likes and 500-600 retweets. And it's funny because like the first 24 hours, it was all Spurs supporters going in and loving it. And then the last, 24 to 36 hours, the Manchester City crowd have been showing up and expressing themselves, all 7 fans. But yeah, just a little bit of fun. It's a nice clip. I could watch that all day. Really, I could.
It is a pretty good clip.
It's a thing. It's art. It is fine art.
That definitely is fine art. It is a good clip, and it is a good thing. But no, it's a good time.
So now what?
The guy said tomorrow he'll go good, but he just supposed to. Tomorrow he'll go good while hunting for the channel. Not that hard. Fine. But no, it's funny. But no, I do want to go. I do want to go do some live streams there. You know what I mean? Like I want to do a live stream from one of the watch alongs. But tell me about your guys' trip to Scotland Yard. You drove 2 hours away for 11:30 match.
Yeah, about 2.5 hours is the commute. It was it was rock solid. Got there about an hour before kickoff, so was able to help Mr. Daigle throw up some Spurs memorabilia, some flags. Staff at the pub were awesome. It was just, I mean, that's the first time I've been in a pub in probably like almost 2 years, let alone like sitting amongst other Tottenham supporters for the first time. I live the town that I live in Muskoka, although it's like cottage country and very busy in the summertime. There's only about 2,000 full-time residents, and so it's a very, very small place. Like I could wear a Spurs kit downtown and nobody would make a comment.
Right,
But
even if it is.
yeah, exactly. I have had people say something to me. If I'm wearing like a Tottenham sweater or something, I'll throw a little bit of banter my way, but generally, like I was saying, I've just never ever met or sat and watched a Tottenham match with another supporter. So yeah, it was cool. I got to meet Abdul, who comes on the channel quite often, Abdul Karim, and Sean Willisey as well, who's made an appearance on Tottenham Away before, and he's I think heavily involved with the Toronto Spurs group. But yeah, and we actually ran into a guy, I think his name's Adam, and he just moved to Canada, and he was like good mates with Ben and Sim. Like his season ticket at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is like in the same row as Ben and Sim. So
Gotcha.
he recognized both of us from YouTube and came up to us and started.
I'm telling you, Cody's famous, guys. Cody's famous.
Oh, it was
He's gonna
hilarious.
start
I'm
signing
sure.
autographs in parking lot at
I think I was
Canadian Tire
latching
here.
on just like you were latching on to my fame. I was latching on to Brian Daigle's fame. I think so. But yeah,
Probably.
it was just it was one of the greatest days of my of the last few years. Especially like as a Tottenham supporter, since we haven't won a trophy since I started following. It was probably the greatest day since Ajax away for me. Just it was really cool, and of course we know Brian Daigle is just a great guy, and to sit there and watch and to win, and I was trying to decide like what shirt am I gonna wear down to the pub and everything, and I settled on the Son jersey, and just being able to stand up and point at the back with the name and everything, and everybody singing "Nice One, Sonny," and every time Grealish hit the deck, I was just yelling 100 million pounds at the television, and everybody was laughing. It was just I'm like the worst kind of sports fan you can be. Like I'm that guy who just shithouses fans around me and boos. I will boo. I don't think I've ever been to a sporting event without booing. Like some people will be like, "Oh, booing is so childish." Never. It's my lifeblood. I just love causing shit and getting drunk. And I didn't get drunk, but no, it was good. It was a 10 out of 10.
See, and that's the thing that especially for the earlier matches. That's the thing that I really don't. I wish that even Thursday, I think there's a meetup for the Atlanta group, and it's like I want to say that it's almost 35 minutes away. It's like if you're gonna, and that's the thing that's tough too for people like that don't realize here in the U.S. we have to watch these in early morning or afternoon. So it's like you can't drink, or if you do drink, it's like what are you gonna do? You're gonna be tipsy by noon. Passed out by 2. I mean, what are we doing, right? Like, so it does kind of suck. You know what I mean? That you have to drive so far, right? But we don't have public transportation in North America like folks do in the UK. And I mean, I could Uber down there, but it's going to cost me $150. It's like,
yeah, might as well just get a hotel or something.
It does kind of suck. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, there is bad traffic. It just depends on the day, the time of day. Like, I think for the 3:00 game on Thursday, it probably wouldn't be too bad getting into Atlanta. But coming home, it could take me, probably could take me 2 hours to get home from traffic. 'Cause, I mean, it can, although I-85 isn't the worst interstate in Atlanta, it still can get kind of bad. I mean, there's back roads and stuff I could take. But.
It's not a hop, skip, and a stone for me to go down to Toronto to watch a game with the boys. Obviously, it would be great if I could do that every weekend, but long day, 5 hours in the car. I didn't really get to hang out for that long after the match because if I wait till
Did I
4 or
freeze up
5
or did you freeze up?
you did not. So is it me?
Yeah, you froze up for a little bit. You're back now. So
Oh, okay.
you're saying it's 5 hours in the car.
Yeah. And it'd be different if the kids were a little bit older, maybe, but it's something I'll be doing from time to time from now on. That's for sure. Just can't do it every weekend,
Oh, 100%, dude. And with kids your age, and I don't know how many years you've been married, but even with kids your age, it's getting kitchen passes to 5 years. Yeah, so that's still pretty new. It's after about 12, your wife's happy when you go somewhere.
I'm not there yet.
But before then, anytime you go somewhere, it's like, even though she's like wants you to go someplace, she doesn't want you to go someplace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my wife always tells me that. Make friends, go out, do things. I was like, yeah, but if I go somewhere, then I get in trouble. So it's pretty funny, but.
So what do you think's going to happen now?
What do I think is going to happen now? I think we need to sign some people.
Does it all hinge on what happens with Harry Kane?
If we don't get somebody in that's decent, look, I've been saying for a while now that I don't think that we particularly need Harry Kane. I know that makes people mad, and it's not a popular opinion. I think if we have a decent number 9, and we could sign a really good right winger, I think if we signed like Vlahovic in a high end right winger, we'd be as good off as Chelsea, in my opinion. With like say a Tomiyasu coming in as well, I'd be calling top 4. So if Harry Kane left and we brought in Vlahovic in a fairly good right winger, and by fairly good I mean really good, 10 goals a season type right winger, I'd be calling us for top 4, man.
You just don't sell Harry Kane to a Premier League team.
I mean, City's going to win the league.
I don't care. But the thing is, like, if you have ambitions for Tottenham, because like selling Harry Kane, yeah, sure, maybe Man City win the league with or without him. Selling Harry Kane to Man City is not good for Tottenham in terms of what they could achieve. You can't give away one of the top 5 players in all of football right now to a team that is already head and shoulders pretty much above everybody. Like you could argue that Manchester United have closed the gap a little bit this summer with the signings.
I think Chelsea's
Sancho.
closed the gap more than
Chelsea is definitely, yeah. So, but at the same time, it's like, okay, so you're going to take one of the top 5 players in world football out of our starting 11, and you're going to give him to Manchester City. It doesn't help us win trophies. It doesn't help us in any way. It only makes it more difficult for us to win a League Cup or an FA Cup. I don't think it makes it easier for us to get top 4. It might not make it that much more difficult, but
yeah,
you just don't strengthen, because you really, like, thing is, if you had to pose this question at Christmas, what percentage of Tottenham supporters would say that they would be accepting of Harry Kane going to Manchester City? Like, to me, yeah, I'm tired of the situation too, and I want resolution. It feels like this whole thing has just been a long, slow removal of a Band-Aid, and I would prefer to just rip it off as opposed to just tear it off slowly. But the number of Tottenham supporters who are now like actively willing us to sell Harry Kane to Manchester City simply
boggles my mind.
It boggles my mind.
He's got to stop being dickhead. If I'm
You know what? I don't
fair.
care. I do not. I don't give two shits what Harry Kane wants. I don't care what Charlie Kane wants. You don't sell Harry Kane inside the Premier League. You don't.
He's not
It's
going to
either
go
it's
anywhere
either
else. He'll just run his contract down and go play somewhere else.
it's either sell him abroad or he stays and he plays.
But he won't
End of
play.
story. Yeah, he'll play. He'll play if he stays.
I don't think he will.
Why
I
would
think
it
you're going to
ser-
see.
It won't serve him. It won't serve him to down tools, and no, he'll play. He'll play because if he has if he talk the records and everything that he talks about, the personal aspirations, he'll play. I'd sooner let him rot. I'd sooner let him rot.
Let him rot at 200 pounds a week.
Yep.
That would kill Tottenham. It wouldn't kill Tottenham, but in Levy's mind, it would kill Tottenham.
Letting Harry Kane rot on the bench is better for Spurs than selling him to Manchester City.
I don't think so. Can I explain why?
Well, look, I know what you're going to say, because if you sell Kane, you get the money, you make additions, Tottenham become better. But yeah,
Now, if you're going to sell him, there's more to it than that as well. If you're going to sell Harry Kane, you have to do it this window, I think. Maybe next window at the latest to a Premier League club. And why? We are at least, in my view, 3 years away from even coming close to reaching a title, to being a title contender. Right? We've been on a downward spiral since 16-17, and we need to work our way back up that route. Harry Kane, I think, has in him maybe 3-4 years tops before he's out missing 10 and 12 games a season due to injury. Right? I don't think by the time that we get to our pinnacle, I mean, Harry's a grandpa, putting in his dentures, doing what he wants. So if that cash helps us to, because then City, say we buy Vlahovic now and he turns out to be, the next Harry Kane, and then City's going to be coming in to buy Vlahovic in 3 or 4 years from us, to replace Harry Kane because he's got glass ankles. Yes, I agree with you that normally you definitely don't want to ever sell anyone to anyone in the Premier League. I don't even like seeing KWP play well at some times last season for Southampton, and knowing that we had who we had right back. So I don't like Kyle Walker, for example. We sold Kyle Walker to City, right? So I don't disagree with you on the overarching premise. I think it doesn't hurt as bad now as it did when Kyle Walker. I think selling Kyle Walker and never replacing him, Musa Dembele getting old, never replacing him. I think that selling of that player to City probably hurt us and helped them more than the Harry Kane would today.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that you could look at it. I personally don't see Kane taking his foot off the gas. Maybe you could argue that he won't put himself at risk of injury by risking his ankles, making tackles and things like that. But he's not much for that at the current moment anyway. Don't forget that you've got the World Cup coming up next year as well. So he is going to want to be fully fit and firing. And in fact, Bale and Modric both wanted out at least a year before they were actually sold. And even though they wanted to leave the club, they still produced at a very high level. And I think there's an argument to be said that an angry Harry Kane coming back, because I think it just really depends where his head's at right now. It's hard. It's really hard watching what's going on. The silence is deafening, and I think the fans are well within their right with the chanting on Sunday. He had to expect that, but if he ever loved Tottenham, it's got to be hurting right now. That's for sure. I can
tell you as I wasn't anywhere near that class of an athlete, but ankles are tricky. They really are. I played basketball up into my 20s at a very competitive level. I've rolled my ankles so many times that now I can literally get out of the car and roll my ankle. Like, ankles are really tough. Like, the more you do that, the weaker they get, not stronger. Even with physiotherapy and stuff like that, there's just not as much tension in those tendons anymore, and it's kind of I mean, it's really bad. Like, literally, I was playing with my kid one time at practice. Oh, it's about 2-3 years ago, dude. And I go to do like a Maradona spin. I just put a little bit of pressure as I was kind of twisting in the air on the top of the ball, and my ankle went boop, boop. And I mean, I thought I broke it. I mean, it hurt like I was in an air cast, hopping around for a while. But I just don't see Harry Kane's injury situation getting any better. I'd like to cash in while the iron's hot, and I don't think it's going to be any hotter than it is right now.
Kane could go to Manchester City and bang in 120 goals over the next 5 years easily, and he could be waltzing into North London wearing City colors, and you really want to put up with that? You really want to put up with Manchester City? Because it's possible that as much as they've won the league 3 out of the last 4 seasons, you might just write off the league if he can stay healthy for the next 5 years. He's that type of professional that, barring an injury, which, like you say, is a risk, he's the type of professional that you can see him reinventing himself as his physical talent begins to wane a little bit.
Sure, but it comes to a point though where you just can't, I mean, because he's already about half as fast as he was 2 years ago. Just 2 years. You gotta remember too, he's a white guy, right? Us white guys, dude, we don't age well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. In a perfect world, he stays. For me, anyway, in a perfect world, he stays. There's some kind of reparation that is made, whether it's the form of a public apology or, if he comes back and starts banging goals in again for Tottenham, everybody will eventually forgive him. Maybe he signs a new contract. Thing is, do you think it's all about the trophies why he wants to leave? Do you think it's in part the way the club has been mismanaged in the last few years? Like, if you're Harry Kane and you're looking over at, say, Tanguy and Ndombele, who's on the same wage as you, and obviously does not have anywhere near the level of commitment that you do personally, and the weight of that investment is part of the reason that the club is being held back. COVID is holding the club back. Not having fans in the stadium has held the club back. But if you're Harry Kane and you're looking around and there's been this mismanagement, is it more about the mismanagement than it is about the trophies? I don't know. Thing is, like, you see how Jack Grealish's departure has gone. Jack Grealish did it, quote unquote, the right way, where, he signed the extension with the release clause. City came in, they paid the release clause. He's gone. There's Villa fans burning his jersey. There's Villa fans on every social media post going in there, calling him a turncoat, a traitor, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like the rest of the footballing world is going to look at Jack Grealish with more respect now that he's gone. He's almost taken the easy route. What's the saying? Going to Man City to win trophies is like losing your virginity to a prostitute.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just think that I think that I think what's kind of going on is he's been promised a lot of things for a long time, and every single year Daniel Levy starts making excuses in the summer as to why he can't do what he promised to do the season before. I think he's just fed up with it, right? You know what I mean? I just think he doesn't want to deal with it anymore. And
something's gone on that we don't have full access to, obviously.
Yeah. But I don't think we're in dire straits. I think there's something to be said about people right now who maybe aren't firing on all cylinders. Right? When I see this even in my own house, and just because I live with 3 boys who are fairly competitive, right? When I walk out of the living room and place the TV on the TV remote on the table, the people who are left start fighting over who gets to be in charge, right? So there's more effort that comes in out of it. So if Harry Kane leaves the club, you could see players who have been all of a sudden start, betting to be that king. When they know that they can't overtake the king that's there, they just kind of don't try. But like if I walk in the room, all of a sudden people get off the couch and move, right? Like there's Dad's spot, right? Like I don't even have to say anything. So yeah, I think it could be beneficial to Tottenham for us to get rid of him.
We'll see.
And I'd rather have, if we're going to get rid of him, I'd rather have the money than not have the money. You know what I mean? Like, of course, if Barcelona or Real Madrid were in for him for, like Bale and Modric, I'd be like, sure, go ahead. Right? Take him. But, I mean, we beat City several times in the past, without Harry Kane when they had a fit Sergio Aguero, which I think Sergio Aguero is every bit, especially when he was fitter, is every bit as good as Harry Kane was. So it doesn't scare me for him to go there. And I'm not necessarily saying that you're scared that he would go there and do whatever. I just think it doesn't. I think that team is gettable. Pep is gettable, even with Harry Kane. I really do. And I don't think Harry Kane has much longer in him.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. But this week, transfer news. Looks like we're interested in Kurt Zuma today. Did you see that? And then we've made new contact with Bologna for Tomiyasu. And they are now willing to sell the defender for below 25 million euro. After a recent defeat caused them to rethink the transfer strategy, apparently. And
would you take Zuma? I wouldn't really take Zuma at this point.
He's better. I think he's better than Eric Dyer.
I think it's rubbish that we're being linked with him anyway. We don't really do business with Chelsea. Period.
No, yeah. I mean, I would rather have Milinkovic for sure.
We might be leaking those Kurt Zuma rumors to try and persuade
Bologna to let Tomiyasu go,
or Fiorentina and Milinkovic. I'd rather have Milenkovic at his price than paid an extra 10 million for.
I'd rather have Tomiyasu. Because it says, like, who is it? Said Florenz Viola today said that Tottenham Hotspur are prioritizing signing Takahiro Tomiyasu over Nikola Milenkovic. Spurs will only move for Milenkovic if the club should fail to sign Tomiyasu from Bologna. So, but then it says at the exact same time, Corriere Florentino said that Fabio Paratici wants to complete a double deal for Tottenham Hotspur worth €80 million to sign Florentina pair, Milenkovic and Vlahovic. I'd take Milenkovic or Tomiyasu, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be. I think Tomiyasu is more versatile, but I'd be happy with both, either one. I've added you to my tier 1 sources, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Oh, just because I want to see you piss the world of Twitter off. I enjoy a good dumpster fire as much as the next guy. And so I was missing a lot of your tweets. Dude, you tweet a lot, dude.
Yeah, I got nothing else going on except parenting.
You do. You tweet a lot, like 7-8 times a day.
Yeah, you got to be consistent, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta build your brand.
I tweet like once a week.
Twitter's my jam. I like Twitter. That's I don't do Instagram. I don't do Facebook. I don't do.
See, Instagram can be I can grow an Instagram page pretty quick.
I just love toxic football Twitter. I just love it. I love people getting angry at each other all the time and just feeding it to one another. And
yeah,
like that video that I posted of Tanganga just bull rushing Jack Grealish. I just love all the Man City fans crying over that.
I am a little upset though that we haven't been linked with a single right winger all window.
Well, we weren't linked with Brian Heel either, so it's hard to say what's going to happen. You know, Paratici might be operating under a smoke screen.
It's like a week, dude. 2 weeks at the most.
I know, but like,
what, 31st?
We're apparently we bid 90 million for Lautaro Martinez, 90 million euro. That I don't think we're spending 90 million on a striker unless we're selling Harry Kane, right?
Yeah, I think what they're basically saying is that they're going to try to give Florentina 90 million euro for both.
Yeah. Yeah, for Milenkovic and
and Florentina or Vlahovic.
But we offered 90 million to Inter for Martinez.
Yeah,
that's been confirmed. Who knows?
Yeah, I saw Matt's tweet on that earlier. But people are taking that big money spend to be a thing.
Who would you rather sell this window? Harry Kane or Tanguy and Ndombele?
And Ndombele for sure.
Me too.
100%.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what's going on with Tanguy and Ndombele, dude. I don't know what's going on with him at all. He's kind of gotten a free pass because Harry Kane has been kicking up a stink. But man, it's definitely a tough one. But I do want to remember people, dude. I always forget to do this. Now I don't know why, but I think it's been like maybe 3 streams since I said like and subscribe like at the right times when I'm supposed to. You're supposed to do it like every 30 minutes. But if you are watching the show, go ahead and give us a like, helps us out. follow both of us. I mean, you can follow me on Twitter if you want to. It's really not going to improve your day, other than when I get lucky and I put something that pisses a lot of people off. Then it can be kind of entertaining. But Cody pisses people off daily. So make sure you go follow him and catch that show. He had Man City fans all kinds of wound up and upset and curled up in the fetal position in corners of rooms crying to themselves.
All 7 of them. Every one of them.
And so make sure you go follow Cody on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I didn't turn on subscriber chat today. But if you are watching the show and you do like it, make sure you do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Paco Ferreira?
Paco Ferreira? I don't even know who that is, dude.
That's who we play on Thursday in the conference.
Oh, Paco Ferreira, the Portuguese side.
Yeah, formerly managed by Paulo Fonseca.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Although, I mean, they are from Do they play in the first division in Portugal?
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I think that could be a tough one. The Portuguese sides can get you. You know, I think.
Who would you play? Would you put Harry Kane in? He's been listed in the squad.
Yeah, I put Harry Kane in. He needs either way. He needs game. He needs to get fit, right? So practice this week up until Thursday. Play.
Would you do it? Would you do it out of spite, like as a punishment?
Not as a punishment, but I mean,
he really think that Harry Kane wants to be playing in a Europa Conference League qualifying match right now.
I mean, you just think of it like a preseason match. I mean, I don't really think that's that big of a deal.
But what if it's like a bunch of under 23s and then Harry Kane and you know, Alfie Devine with the captain's armband?
I think you can see more players than that. I think you'll see more first team players than that.
Yeah, like I think you'll see Winks, Ben Davies, maybe
Sissoko,
Romero,
Ben Davies, probably Romero,
Galini,
Brian
Doherty.
Hill,
maybe Lo Celso.
Celso, you know, people who had short preseasons, I think you'll see in there, and they'll just kind of use it as a preseason match. Is the chat getting wild out there? Are people picking on Bob? Only me and Cody are allowed to pick on Bob. It's a rule. So therefore, let's turn this on. See, I tried to leave it off to see if we would get, you know, some more entertaining banter in the comments. But it's not like all they have to do is hit the subscribe button. Just you know, the thought of helping us out, or liking something that.
I think that if Kane plays in the qualifying round for the Conference League, he would still be eligible to play in the Champions League should he make a move to a Champions League club.
Yeah. For certain. So now if you want to talk in the chat, you have to subscribe to the channel. You're welcome, Mr. K. It went subscribers only mode on Saturday after we beat them Monday. I actually like to go subscribers mode. To be honest with you, most of the people who comment on and watch the shows anyway are subscribers anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. But what it does do is when new people come to it and they want to get involved in the chat, it just kind of gives them a friendly reminder that. And I don't have it set to where like you have to be subscribed for like 5 minutes or something like that before you can talk. It's like as soon as you hit that red button, bub, you go. It kind of keeps me from having to say. Like when I remember to turn it on, it keeps me from having to say like and subscribe. You know what I mean? It just.
Did you see that little feature on Gary Neville's channel where it was him and Carragher and Roy Keane and a bunch of the different
overlap?
On the overlap, all the different, like each team had like a representative from YouTube or social media, and him and like Ty and Jamie Carragher going back and forth about like the disrespect that Arsenal gets. Did you see that
first
clip?
one? Yeah, I haven't seen part 2 yet. There's a part 2, part 1 and part 2. I haven't seen part 2. There might be a part 3 for all I know.
It was brilliant.
Oh, he's saying AFTV went on subscribers only mode. Yeah, they did. I had to subscribe to AFTV and then unsubscribe to put him. Actually, you don't. If people don't realize, if a chat is in subscribers mode, you have to. You can still super chat. You can't put it in free chats, but you can super chat. So if you don't want to subscribe to the channel and you still want to throw a banner at him, you just have to pay for it. I'd really give him $5 and subscribe to the channel, but yeah, AFTV, man, and Ty, dude, I don't know if you noticed, Cody, or not. And Ty wasn't on the watch along because apparently he was at the match, and so it's just not going to be as fun anymore for me to be able to poke fun on him live on stream. But yeah, I put in there during the chat. I was like, Ty said, and Ty got upset with Jamie Carragher for disrespecting Arsenal. I think this is why. ... Top 4 still on? Question mark. Ty was literally saying that that Arsenal was gonna get top 4 this season. Bottom 4 is probably more likely than top 4 for Arsenal. What did you think about that overlap show? They were giving compliments to the Spurs supporters. You guys, that's a great question asking. You could be up here with us. Although I particularly don't like that particular Spurs supporter YouTuber. Nothing personal. He just kind of rose me the wrong way. Can't remember the name.
I honestly, I didn't watch the whole thing. I only saw the little clips of Ty getting embarrassed. But I should probably go and watch it. I'm sure it would have been pretty interesting.
No, it is a good.
I do like all three of them. Neville, Keane, and Carragher, but they all kind of get on my nerves at different times as well.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Flav, maybe. I guess he's Flav. Yorkshire, I guess is Flav. He's mint. I don't know what that means.
You gotta love the honesty though when he asked if he enjoyed if Neville asked if he enjoyed the Harry Kane interview, and he said absolutely not. I hope you never talk to any Spurs players.
No, yeah,
again.
Flav is look. I just he used to be on the kickoff a lot, and I just didn't think that he really sounded like a fan. You know what I mean? Like he was like, oh, like people think I'm negative. He was always negative. Like, even when we were top of the league, he was like, yeah, we're going to finish 10th. Like, just, like, extremely negative. But, do I listen to the Fighting Cock? I don't. I don't, man. I have a hard time keeping up with the content in our group. Which is getting bigger and bigger by the week.
There's so much now that just you could literally like almost 24 hours a day, especially if you're watching back shows that you've missed. It's hard. It must be hard to try and schedule. Like there's only so many eyeballs to go around, but
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
good.
like, because I remember when we first started this channel back in March, it was like you had your time, right? David was at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. You know, I was doing 10:30 or 1:30. There wasn't any overlap, but now it's like people will be instant messaging me saying, you know, are you going live at this time? I'm like, just go, right? Like, there's too many of us now. We're not gonna not be able to step on people's toes. Just do your show, man. People will watch it if they want to watch it. If they like you more than me, they'll like it. If they like me more than you, they'll watch mine, right? I mean, that's just kind of...
Yeah, the important thing is that everyone likes to collaborate and cooperate and support one another, and everyone
Yeah.
cross-pollinates and goes on each other's shows. Like, literally, if you didn't have anything else to do, you could just be a full-time, like, Tottenham YouTuber and just grow from one show to the next, morning till night. It's great. It's great. It's a good problem to have, you know. My wife probably thinks I'm crazy because I've always got like an earbud in, just listening.
Me too. I've always got my, pull those. I hate these things, by the way. These are like the worst $250 I ever spent in my life.
What are AirPods?
Yeah, AirPod Pros and the AirPods in general. So horrible, dude. I mean, sound quality wise, they're not bad, but the microphone is crap. The connection is crap. It was a waste of cash. I should have bought a different brand or something. I have a pair of Bose ones that sound far better. I wouldn't say they necessarily sound far better, but they work better. Like, the mic works better. The connection I get is better. Yeah, they're not cool. They don't look as cool hanging out of your ears. But I mean, everything I have else is Apple, except for my streaming PC and my streaming PC. That's the only thing I don't have that's Apple.
You have any thoughts about Wolves? Did you watch any other games this weekend? Did you have a chance?
I watched a bunch of games this weekend.
I watched Brentford beat Arsenal. Obviously, I think the whole footballing world watched that. Absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait for All or Nothing.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Oh, that's definitely gonna become one.
Oh, man, it's gonna be better than AFTV.
No, for sure. For sure, that's gonna be, like I said. I mean, especially if they get relegated, it's like, dude, tell me where I can buy the DVDs, right? The Blu-rays, because for that show, that's gonna be one that I want to keep forever. I'll have to see if on my Amazon Prime account there's a way that I can download it or something, or save it to my playlist.
But did you watch any of the Leicester City Wolves game?
I didn't get the Leicester City Wolves game. I watched Manchester United versus Leeds. I happened to wake up for that one. I watched, fell back asleep and woke up and watched Liverpool versus Norwich. I watched the last 30 minutes of the West Ham game before the Spurs match, and then watched the Spurs match. That's what I did. What about you? What other games did you watch to pick up?
I watched the entirety of the Brentford Arsenal game. I watched patches of Leeds and Manchester United. I watched most of the Liverpool Norwich game because I was at my mate's cottage, who's a Liverpool supporter, and then I watched obviously the Tottenham game, and then everything else I just found time to watch highlights. So I didn't really get a good feel for what I might watch the Wolves game back and see what it was like. You know, it's so hard to kind of look at the statistics from the match and determine, what was going on there. But it looks like they were playing in a back three. Actually got more shots off, not more shots on target, but more shots than Leicester City. But came away with 0 points. So it'll be interesting. What kind of team are Wolves going to be now that Nuno's gone? You'd expect them to improve on what they did last year, coming off kind of a down year. They're always kind of a difficult team to beat. And I think it's away to Wolves this weekend, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So it'll be interesting to see, obviously, with fans back in the grounds, and I don't think that Nuno left Wolves on bad terms, So he should get a nice.
I don't know if he'll get a warm welcome.
I think
It
he'll
was
get
pretty 50-50 split when he left.
Well, yes,
fan
but
base.
the thing is, what if even if you wanted Nuno gone, once he's gone, you're still going to have appreciation for what he accomplished.
Maybe, but fans
What
are
you
so
do you think they'll
fickle.
boo Nuno?
I don't think they'll boo him. No, I just
Right.
think I just don't think that he'll get a warm welcome, right? Like
I
if
think he'll
Jose
get a
came
pretty
back,
warm welcome. I think if I'm a betting man, I would put it on a fairly warm welcome, and then once the game starts, you're the enemy.
it's like when we end up playing Jose in the Conference League, are we going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
like?
That's not really that's not really comparable.
Half the
That's not-
fans
that's
loved
not-
I didn't want Jose to go.
I don't think half the fans loved Jose, especially by the end. And I think you'll see. And the thing is too, like, think about the difference in personalities as well, right? If Jose comes to North London as part of a Conference League competition, he's going to be stirring the pot. He's not. He'll be saying stuff in the media leading up to the match. He'll be if Roma score, he'll be shoving it in the fans' face. Jose is the ultimate shithouse. So
Yeah, and they just signed Tommy Abraham today.
yeah.
€50 million. To be honest with you, that's the only team that I'm probably nervous about playing in that
in the Conference League. Yeah,
in the Conference League. Could you imagine if we lost to Jose in the final of that thing, dude?
Yes, I can imagine that for sure. I'm a Tottenham supporter. Did you pick the worst case scenario? And as a Tottenham supporter, I can imagine it. Believe me, we just look at how we made our exit out of the Europa League last year. Pretty much the most embarrassing possible way, right?
Am I standing up? No, I'm not standing up. I am on a stool. My other chair, man, was causing lower back pains from all the time that I'd spent in it. And yeah, other issues. So I have a stool. When my legs were falling asleep, other things were falling asleep. It shouldn't be falling asleep. So I need to fix it. And it hurts. I don't really like this stool, but it's supposed to keep your posture good. That's why you thought I was standing. With the Bulls match, man, I wasn't impressed with the highlights that I saw in their record. They lost to Leicester. You could say that they looked okay, but it wasn't even that they looked good. It was both teams were kind of bad. But that one was on USA, so I don't know if many people watched it.
Who was your man of the match on Sunday?
Lucas Moura, I think, was my man of the match.
Yeah, I think so too. He was so good in transition.
He's so good, dude.
Yeah. And he was good pressing. and he was good at getting under the skin of the opponent as well. You know, that one move where he just wouldn't let, was it Diaz trying to get the ball away from him? He just he ended up getting carded for it, but and then of course him and Jack Grealish getting in each other's faces. You know, the picture where Grealish is like this. I've seen that with a few creative captions. You know, you played better than me, Grealish saying to Lucas Moura.
I think Lucas is fantastic. I think he is turned around. I was happy with his performance as a right winger, which he really kind of played. It looked like he was dropping so deep to bring the ball up that it almost looked like he was playing as a wingback. It kind of looked to me like we were playing like a false 3-4-3. You know what I mean? With or a 3-5-2 with Jaffa Tanganga kind of being the third defender on that right hand side, you know, staying home, and Lucas Moura basically having to drop deeper to bring the ball in. So really only kind of playing with two up top, but yeah, I would really like to see Lucas Moura be able to have that kind of freedom in the attacking midfield, that number 10 spot.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to see Højbjerg kind of pushed up the pitch just a little bit as well. You know, he brought
Skip
that.
kind of gave him the freedom to do that.
Yeah. If you look at like the average position, you know, Skippy was playing deeper. He was almost playing the same role that Højbjerg was locked into last season, and that gave Højbjerg a little bit more license to push up. And there was a few times where he dispossessed a Man City player in a dangerous position and kind of triggered a counter attack. And like you said, Reguilón spent so much of the time a little bit further up the pitch than his counterpart on the other side. You know, that's one nice thing about having a player like Tanganga who has experience as a center back and is, you know, kind of like you think of him as a defense first player. Is that if we play Reguilón further up the pitch, he just kind of slides over and provides that extra little bit of support, and it gives Reguilón the opportunity to be a part of that link up play and even pressing. Reguilón was he kind of just was rock solid, you know. Whereas last year, like you think of Reguilón making defensive plays last year, it's almost like last ditch tackles, like he was having to make those type of plays because, you know, he was getting out dueled, or he was caught out, or someone else was having to babysit him. I thought he played a lot smarter than what we kind of saw, especially after Christmas last year. You know, he came back from that injury, and obviously he was not very good. You know, we were wondering, what have we got ourselves into with this player? You know, there's no way Madrid would ever activate the buyback clause the way that he was playing at the end of last year. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. You certainly hope that a different voice, more encouragement, and I saw a tweet today that said Bergwijn was crediting the way that they played with the double training sessions. So the fitness aspect, I mean, that can't be understated. It can't be overstated. We certainly looked fitter of the two sides coming down the stretch in the last 15-20 minutes. We certainly played a stronger brand of football than we did probably all of last season. And we all said when we hired Nuno and we hired the corresponding fitness coaches that could be a huge advantage for us compared to where we were last year. So I'm hoping that, you know, that Sunday was just a taste. I don't want to get carried away. You know, I see some people saying, we're going to win. You know, you always get a certain like subsection of fans who will be like, we can get top four, we can win the league. I still think we need to make some investment because it's one thing to say, okay, you hit the ground running in the first week, everybody's fit. But now all it takes is one key injury, and it's like a domino effect, considering that we have League Cup, FA Cup, Conference League football all to be played still. If we want to remain competitive in all 4 competitions, if we want to be fighting on 4 fronts and taking the Conference League seriously, then we need depth and we need health and we need fitness from top to bottom. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, for sure. Got Stell in the house. What's going on, Stell? Dele Ali really surprised me. Made loads of forward passes and didn't give the ball away. Hopefully this is a long way. Dele Ali 2.0 reboot. Yeah, I think it could be. I think. Look, I think Dele Ali is a player who could benefit from a Kane departure. You know, he's narcissistic enough that something like that might spur him on to move back up to his previous glory.
I think we have to say goodbye to the Dele Alli that we got used to 3-4 seasons ago. I think we have to kind of say goodbye to the Dele Alli who caught people off guard with some of his creativity and some of his innovation. Sometimes you see this. Players, they break into the league and they are a certain type of player. And then for whatever reason, they become ineffective in that role or as that type of player. If Dele has to reinvent himself as a runner, as Nuno called him, kind of like a not necessarily a free role, but a player who develops and uses his athleticism as opposed to his natural footballing talents, then we have to kind of move the goalposts and say, okay, if that's what you offer to the squad and you can be effective doing it and playing that style, which I thought he was, you know, it was just nice to see. It was just nice to see the difference in attitude, and we looked for the first time in quite a while. Like, I don't want to throw Jose under the bus completely here, but like, didn't it feel like we didn't know what to do with the ball most of the time last year? If it wasn't Kane, if Kane and Son were being dealt with appropriately by decent defenders, it looked like we just didn't know what to do with the ball. We looked like we knew a lot more, not only how to play with the ball, but also without it as a unit. We looked better as a unit on Sunday than we have in some time, you know, as opposed to looking like 11 individuals.
Yeah. No, I mean, definitely. I think that it definitely, there was more of a team, you know, vibe of, you know, the whole entire team playing as one kind of machine. I thought it was a good day.
Like, I kind of agree with Scott. Like, if I had to pick out a player who was our least effective player, it was probably Dele. But he also brought a different dimension that we're not used to seeing. How many times did we see Dele defending in our own corner, like near our own corner flag? Now, he wasn't necessarily. There was a couple times he got nutmegged and absolutely embarrassed, but he did. His work rate was very good, and he was like a nuisance. That's the thing. Like last year, I feel like we were just comfortable to sit off the ball and wait for our opponents to try and do something with it.
Yeah.
On Sunday, we were pushing the issue. We were a lot more aggressive. We were a lot more positive in our defending and our pressure. That is one thing I will say that Kane takes away is, you know, he's not the most effective presser of the football. I think we all know that.
So 7 minutes ago, Naitan Nendez is keen to complete a THFC transfer, contrary to points that he has not vetoed the move. So, I don't even know who Naitan Nendez is, to be honest with you. Oh, he plays for Calgary. striker. Do you know anything about him?
Is he a striker or is he a midfielder?
It says that Fabio Perisic is refusing to give up on signing Dusan Vlahovic. Atletico Madrid may have matched THFC contract offer to the striker, but Fabio Perisic will continue to compete for his signature. That's a different one. Yeah, midfielder.
Look, I'm so tired of the summer transfer window. We got linked with this guy. The extent of what I know about him is basically what I've read in a few tweets, and he's a player. He would kind of compare to, like, in terms of like mentality, almost like a Højbjerg. He just gives everything all the time.
But is he more attacking or is he more defensive? So like, are you telling like he's like a skip replacement or?
No, I think he's more attacking, but I don't think he has like necessarily the quality. Like a lot of, like, he's not like the most talented player, but he's one of the most hardworking. Like what he lacks in talent, he makes up for in hard work.
Up on Sofa Score and see what he gets. Like positionally, Spurs 72 said he can even play like a CM, RM, RW, RB type of player. That's kind of a weird mix of things. The CM, RM, RW, that makes sense. You know, if he's more of like a right-sided attacking midfielder. Yeah, gummit. Sofa Score came off my frequently visited sites now.
I'll make this a little bit bigger so we can look at it. But so there's his football reference. So he's definitely more attacking than Højbjerg. And again, you can't. This is versus fullbacks, though. Let's put him against midfielders. Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I don't know much about the player.
Definitely right-sided. Syria. Yeah.
See what I mean?
He kind of looks like a winger. Or definitely a hardcore right-sided midfield. I mean, he positionally all on the right-hand side. But he definitely doesn't look like a super attacking. He's only got a 58 out of 57, so he's not very attacking. He's more like a creative, like a right-sided kind of creative midfielder. That's what it says here. He's definitely not defensive or necessarily technical.
Yeah,
But kind of like he's like a right-sided playmaker is kind of what it looks like.
yeah. Like I said, I'm so dusted with this summer transfer window, and of course, like the energy that the Harry Kane saga has taken out of everybody. I'm not up for researching players unless we actually get them over the line, because the way that we've been operating with like looking at multiple players, it's pointless. I mean, it's not pointless. Like if you want to talk about them on YouTube, that's one thing. But I honestly, going back to the whole Paulo Fonseca was almost my breaking point, because like Fonseca was here. He was going to be our coach. Everyone was talking about him for days and days and days as if the deal was done. And then suddenly they pulled the plug on it. So,
yeah. Tell you what, though, man, it's 2 weeks to the day, right? Isn't it? It's end on August 31st, right? Isn't that what it does? August 31st. 2 weeks to the day. 2 weeks to the day. We got to get some. We need more people out. Otherwise, our U23 squad's going to be heavy on first team players. You know what I mean? I'm just glad that we got. Yeah, I don't know if I mean, he could be like this. Nathan, I know this is dumb, but I like to look people in the face. And Nathan Nandez kind of looks like he's a little bit of a shit eater, but you know, kind of that Hoy Bear type. You know, so he could be good.
I mean,
that's all mumbo jumbo.
We definitely need more players if we want to like propel ourselves into the conversation for top 4, which I don't think we're there, despite the fact that we just beat the champions of England. I don't think that we can rely on that starting 11, or even if we kept Kane, I don't think we can rely on that team to be a solid contender for top 4, just given how much other clubs have invested this summer.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, without a
like we're still behind Man City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and probably Leicester as well. As is, and that's that. Even if we could count on, which I don't think we can yet count on, Tanganga and Skip to be consistent week in, week out, as good as they were on Sunday. I would love that. Absolutely, I would love that. But again, as we get further into the season and every team suffers injuries, we don't have the kind of depth that we need to be in the number of competitions that we're in and be giving everything every game, you know. So we need at least, I don't know. What do you think? I think we need 3 more players.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm on an island here, but we really need a right-sided score. Like even when we were playing City, did you see, other than the couple, maybe 1 or 2 runs Bergwijn made, did you see any goals coming from anyone else in that squad on Sunday? I didn't. Right, it was like Son's gonna score. Son had 4 or 5 opportunities, and he either converts all of those or we don't score.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, I totally agree. That's why, like, as much as it was nice that we were, we shut them down on the defensive side. You know, we didn't concede very many chances. We also like we weren't necessarily that clinical with the chances that we were afforded. And thing is too, there were a couple times where Son, he has to be a little bit more selfish and look for his shot and look for it sooner. You know, there were a few times where it was like, okay, you could have shot there, and we ended up passing the ball backwards almost all the way back to the center back.
Bro, it's almost like he was looking for Harry Kane. It was like, oh crap, he's not there.
Exactly. Yeah. The ghost of Harry Kane was hanging around. So yeah, we either need Kane to come back, or we need another striker.
I think we need, if we want to compete, we need Kane to come back and a right winger, right? Like
we need Kane to come back, and we need a backup for Harry Kane, and we need a right winger, and we need. I still think we should. I don't think we're set at center back. I don't think we're set at right back.
I don't know. Tanganga was pretty boss.
He was pretty boss, but like we've seen, even in the preseason, we've seen Tanganga look out of place. Do you think he's right? He's a right back now. Like,
look, if we play 3 at the back, we really don't need a strong right back. To be honest with you, if we play 3 at the back, we could have Serge Aurier play.
I don't think Aurier's gone. I think because he's not even been listed in the Conference League squad, eh?
Yeah. But he's still here. So.
For now.
Which I think is kind of a little bit sad, because I think as a right wing back, he would be pretty dang effective. I mean, scoring wise, he was our highest scoring.
Look, we played well on Sunday. I don't want to take away from that. But our hold-up play was no good. Sonny can't hold the ball up. He can't. And we didn't have any presence in the air on the offensive side of the ball. And you're not gonna beat the better sides consistently if you don't have those two attributes in your squad. And Harry Kane brings both of them. Harry Kane can hold the ball up. Harry Kane is good in the air, you know?
Yeah.
The thing is too, like, how many decent, if we sell Harry Kane, we need 2 strikers. Not 1. Unless we're gonna put Son in that role. And if we put Son in that role, then like those same 2 problems, those same 2 dimensions of being able to hold the ball up and being able to head the ball are gone, essentially.
Oh, forgot about Ivan Toney, dude. I'm telling you, that guy is
Too late.
fire.
I don't think Brentford are interested. I think Brentford. Thing is, like, did you hear any clubs linked with Ivan Toney this summer?
No, and I don't know why. It's ridiculous.
Like, everybody has their price. I get that, but it's entirely possible that after 74 years,
We had a
outside of the
weak
top
link
flight,
at the before we signed Paratici.
before Brentford got promotion, we had a link with Ivan Toney.
But yeah, I'm telling you, he was. I've been on every stream when we're talking about strikers or possible replacements for Harry Kane. I've been putting it in Ivan Toney for a long time. Even Bob can remember. Before I even had my own channel, I was hounding Bob in the comments about Ivan Toney, and such a shame, man, that we didn't.
Yeah, but so let's say Toney stays at Brentford, which is likely, because he's gonna be important if they want to stay up. Who's left? Because Vlahovic is looking more and more likely that he's going to Atletico Madrid.
No,
Lautaro
today they pulled
Martinez.
out.
It looks increasingly likely that Inter Milan are not going to sell Martinez. What other strikers are there? And we're going to need 2 of them if we sell Harry Kane.
It says that Atletico Madrid may have matched the contract offer, but Fabio Paratici will continue to compete for his signature. Yeah. What do you want to play in La Liga right now, though? It's amazing how big Messi is himself, right? Yeah. Messi's gone now. Who wants to play in the Liga anymore? I mean, seriously.
Well, it's who wants to watch La Liga?
Right.
Who wants to watch
who wants
La
to
Liga?
Play?
Which means who wants to pay to watch La Liga? Which means who wants to give La Liga clubs money? Which means what La Liga clubs have money to give people? They were already, like, you look at the amount of transfer business that's being done across Europe's top 5 leagues. La Liga is by far spending much less, even compared to the French league.
Well, that's what happens when you sell your international TV rights to some oil company who nobody has a sponsor, a subscription to.
Mm-hmm.
BN Sports. I mean, look, Fox is rolling on the floor, right? NBC, CBS, and ESPN here in the United States are kicking butt from a football standpoint. Like, I mean, all of the major networks now have football in their weekend lineups, except Fox, and it's been that way for a while. Fox did have Bundesliga for a long time, but they lost it. They lost that contract out to ESPN. If you're La Liga, why not come in and ask for that? It's been almost 2 or 3 years now since Bundesliga moved to ESPN. Why are you sitting there with BN Sports? I mean, who has a BN Sports? Like, if you have a BN Sports subscription, it's because of La Liga. That's the only reason why you have that. You shouldn't. If you're the only reason for someone to subscribe to a platform, you better be getting a heck of a lot of money. You know what I mean? Otherwise, what is the point? What is the point? I wouldn't. Atletico Madrid, great. You know, might as well play in Portugal now, to be honest with you. That's where I think the league is going the way of.
Well, that's possible. That is possible. But, you know, if you're looking at Tottenham and Atletico Madrid, money talks. So
Now,
whichever club is going to offer the most money is probably going to have the upper hand regardless. But Atletico Madrid also have Champions League football, and that's also an advantage they would have. I don't even know. Like, why is Vlahovic going for so much? I haven't watched much of him, but, you know, you're talking about a guy who has one season in a top league where he's scored 21 goals, 6 of them were penalties. Is he worth 70 million euro? Like,
Vlahovic?
yeah.
50,
is it just
50,
like,
I think.
is it? But so this is just like a supply and demand. You know,
Yeah,
it's just not
because Atletico Madrid and Tottenham are both in for him.
and it's his
You know,
youth
Atletico
too.
Madrid's driving up the price. All it is. All it is. I don't think we should miss out on this kid, though, dude. I don't. This Vlahovic guy. I don't know. I get like, I know he's a year older than Erling Haaland, but I get Erling Haaland, Zlatan, love child vibes off this guy. I'm telling you. I think we'll regret it. I got a feeling in my bones about this Vlahovic guy, just like I did with Tony. I'm not upset about the Martinez one. A lot of people were. A lot of people liked him. Okay. But I get this thing in my bones about players. They get stuck in my craw. And Bailey's won. Tony's won. And this Vlahovic guy is becoming one.
Have you seen Ronaldo's statement?
Yeah, I just saw it. Cristiano Ronaldo. Anyone who knows me is aware of how focused I am on my work. Less talk and more action. This has been my guiding motto since the start of my career. However, in view of everything that has been said and recently, I have to set out my position. What happened to him?
He's been linked with a move to PSG.
But why is that disrespectful?
I don't know. If
He
someone
says,
was
for me, more than the disrespect for me as a man and as a player, the frivolous way that my future is covered in the media is disrespectful to all clubs involved in these rumors.
he's
as
basically
well as to the
saying
players and
the
staff.
media are full of shit.
Yeah, well, they are.
Yeah, they're full of shit. He doesn't like it.
That's cool.
Are you muted?
No, I'm just reading.
Like, I see your lips moving, but I'm not. Why you gotta do that? I got my new headphones. I thought they were broken.
No. I do that when I read sometimes. I just do like mumble.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a mumbler anyway, to be honest with you, so. I have very keen hearing, and so I tend to mumble because it's loud in my own ears. But yeah. I have like really weird physical attributes. That's okay. $5 from AMNZO. Or £5 rather. Would you swap Stevie B for Noni Madueke? Irvine can't always go back to Holland while Madueke can return back to London. Bro, I'll be honest with you, I don't even know who Madueke is.
Okay, so he was in the Tottenham Youth Academy, and we let him go. Now he's developed into a much better player in the Dutch league. Basically, the player that we were waiting for him to become, he kind of became. We just didn't wait long enough, or we weren't developing him properly, however you want to say it. He's a left-footed, I think he's a winger, plays right wing for, I think, PSV. And yeah, he looks really good. I think he scored 2 goals in the Dutch version of the Community Shield last week.
Is this like a knee-jerk thing, or is he actually a baller?
I don't know for sure. I think one of the reasons that we've been like you've got people talking about him is because he was in the Tottenham system previously. So there would have been people who would have been saying, you know, this kid can become something.
He's only 19. I mean, he's got pretty good.
Yeah, so he
stats
had
so far for the Edelweiss, but
yeah, he's had 11 goal contributions last season in just under 1,000 minutes. That's pretty good. And yeah, he's not even 20 years old yet.
You got to remember too about this is what how leagues can be different. I mean, you got Eric Lamela, who in his opener scores 2 goals in the Liga, right? So, you know, but hey, I'm cool with him doing that. I mean, we'll have to see what like tomorrow. They're playing Benfica in a Champions League qualification match, so that would be a good place to see if he starts. And he seems like he only played 65 minutes in the first match of the season. He did score though.
Yep.
1
yeah,
goal.
I think he was man of the match as well.
Why'd they take him off after 65 minutes then?
Bring on a defender maybe.
But successful dribbles in that one match, 88%, 7. That's pretty high.
So what's your answer to this? The actual question, would you swap him?
Stevie B for I'm sorry, the name I can't.
Madueke.
Thank you. Madueke. Because if you say Madueke, in America,
nobody across the pond would get that.
Very unusual connotation. Madueke, Noni Madueke.
Transfer market has him valued at just under £15 million, but I think this is the last. I think that's probably.
When did we get rid of him? Here, hold on, let me see.
2018. So we bought him from Crystal Palace Youth Academy in 2014, and we sold him in 2018 to PSV.
Yeah, that's the joke. But could you imagine if he didn't do well?
I kind of want to see what Bergwijn does this year under Nuno. I thought. First of all, Bergwijn hasn't been given like a really solid run of games. It seems like he's either like had 3 or 4 games and then he's got hurt, or he's been, Jose was saying last year that he was carrying some injuries, some nagging injuries that weren't necessarily keeping him from playing, but were still bothering him. We keep saying if Bergwijn just gets that breakthrough, and he had the goal against Villa last year at the end of the year to kind of break the curse, and he had a decent chance on Sunday, couldn't quite finish it with his left foot. I still think that there is a player in there that is yet to be unlocked for Spurs, and
yeah,
I think he's probably enjoying his time at Tottenham now more than he has up to this point. He was brought in, what, 2 months after Jose was sacked, or sorry, after Poch was sacked.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that he would have been Jose's priority. I don't know. Who knows if he was a Jose signing or not. But this guy was a goal scorer in the Dutch league, and you watch some clips of him in training, and the talent is there, and you've seen it on the pitch. He's just kind of been on the wrong side of the yard, like the wrong side of the inch, hitting the post against Liverpool last year, and then he only started 6 league games after Liverpool away, and that was in December, the middle of December, when we were battling with them for the top of the table. So for him to go 4.5 months, 5.5 months, only getting 6 starts in the league. And when he was starting, he was being tasked heavily with defending. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think that it might have, he's well suited to that. He does have an excellent work rate. We got into this a little bit of a debate in a group chat today about someone that we're close with was basically saying that the only reason Ndombele is getting slated while Bergwijn isn't is because of the price tag. But I don't agree with that. I think that Bergwijn has appeared to be a hard worker when he's on the pitch and in training from day one.
But Bergwijn gets slated too, so I don't know what
He does.
talking about there.
He does. I think Ndombele does get more widely slated. But both players do get their fair share of stick. I want to see what becomes of Bergwijn here. I'm not ready to give up on him.
Yeah, do I think that he's going to turn out to be some fantastic player? No, I don't. Do I think that he could become good enough to stay on the team? Yeah, I think he could become good enough. But
we just bought Brian Heel, who, yes, he's not naturally a right winger, but at 20 years old, I wouldn't put it past him to be able to make the change. So we would have a left-footed player who could play right wing, young and talented. You can never have too many young, talented players. I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't want Madueke in our system, and I think he would count towards the homegrown as well.
Yeah. Maybe not if he left, because you have to be 3 years under U23s to be considered homegrown. So he may not be considered homegrown. He may end up very dire type situation.
Yeah.
But because 18, I think is the youngest that you can move overseas, and that's he was 17 when he moved to, or earlier than that, maybe even been 16 when he moved to the Dutch league. So I don't even think that Madueke would even be counted as homegrown.
No, like personally, I want to see Bergwijn for given a solid run of games in the league with the new fitness regime, the double training sessions, and let's see what he's capable of. I think I think he played with a lot more confidence that we have seen him. Like he appeared to be looking for his shot. There was a few times, he was winning corners on deflected shots and whatnot, and just missed that one chance in the second half to put the game away with his left foot, which that's a tough play against a class keeper who's cutting the angle down, coming out quick like that, and Anderson. I think I like Steven Bergwijn because one thing that you get with him that you don't get with every player that we have in our squad is you get 100% effort and commitment, and that can make up for a lot of things.
Yeah,
and it gives me hope. Like if you have two players with untapped potential and one is an extremely hard worker and one is not, give me the hard worker all day. Me personally.
Yeah. I agree with that. Effort is very important to me too. But yeah, I mean for me, Stevie B, I just don't ever see him as being a great player. I see him as being a good squad player for us. A good player that comes off the bench and does. I don't ever see him as being I don't see him becoming a world-class left winger, which is what I need. And who's that? Who's that?
Jack Clark. Jack Clark needs a successful loan.
Jack Clark needs to be sold.
Maybe. What do you get for him right now?
$5.
$5
Canadian.
So you take a total loss. Well, then there's no point in selling him. You might as well loan him out and see if he develops because he's still young. He's not an old player.
He's like 19, isn't he?
Yeah, that's not an old player. Like people giving up on players like Jack Clark and Troy Parrott. These guys are kids still. They're 20 years old.
Troy Parrott is no longer a kid, my friend. He should be competing for spots in the first team.
Jack Clark's 20.
Troy Parrott's 21, 22.
How many 21, 22-year-olds do we have in our squad that play regularly?
Right now?
Yeah.
None. 21, 22, 23, 23-ish is where
23
we're on.
23 is a different story. That's like Troy Parrott. Okay, so he's 19.
No, but Vlahovic is 21.
Troy Parrott just turned 19 in February. Everybody thinks he's older than he is because he kind of broke in as a.
I thought he was older than Jack Clark.
No. Born February 4th, 2002. Jack Clark is 6 months older.
Yeah.
Or actually, he's a full year older, basically.
He needs to do something.
You can't get anything for these guys right now, so you might as well just loan them out.
He needs to do something.
I'm not gonna look. I wish we hadn't bought him. I wish we had taken that money and
Jack Grealish. Yeah, me too.
Used it to buy Grealish or the extra cash to the difference in the Bruno Fernandes deal. Who knows? But can't change the past. But it wouldn't make sense to sell him for nothing right now.
Yeah, Dane Scarlett though at 17 looks way better than he does at 19.
Troy Parrott scored in his debut for MK Dons, eh?
Yeah, that's League One. I really don't.
Yeah, but he was in League One last year, right? What did he start off at? He started off at Millwall, and then it wasn't really going well there, so they sent him to Ipswich, and didn't really go well there either. So the fact that he's gone, like I said, 19 years old, right? There's no way you can be expecting a 19-year-old to be pushing to be in the starting 11 for Tottenham Hotspur, not unless they're an absolute wonder kid.
Yeah, but
looks like seeing in the comments that Parrott scored again for MK Dons today. Thing is, when you have a kid like that who's clearly got the talent, we've seen it before. Sometimes, like Dele Alli came from MK Dons, So sure, it's League One. But if it's a mechanism to build a player's confidence, and that
Why
might
not send
be
these people over to like MLS or something where they can actually get some good, a good loan?
oh look, Barrett has 2 today. You should criticize. Who should you criticize?
I'm gonna criticize them all the time. Every time I criticize somebody they do good, that's good. But Spur72 $20 super chat here says, I gotta go earlier today.
He's just saying he's got to go. Thanks for tuning in, man. Really appreciate that.
But I don't get the earlier today yet. Thank you for turning in Spur72. I definitely gotta go earlier today.
He just means he can't.
He has to leave earlier today.
Yeah, he can't watch the whole show.
Gotta leave earlier today. Thank you guys. Excellent job today. Great Spurs content. Come on, Spurs. Thank you. We appreciate the love and support. Really do. But like the English League One is like ranked 30th in the world, and MLS is ranked 14th. So why not send these people over here and let them play with us?
Do you think it's more complicated now because it's like I know that the UK are no longer a part of like the European.
That might affect them in Europe, but it doesn't affect them here.
Yeah, but you're seeing like some players their transfers that are being held up because work visas and issues like that. So I don't know if that would be part of the reason. Yeah, no, I don't think like
it is, Dan. I'm looking right now at it, globalfootballrankings.com. Based on coefficients. Every coefficient I've seen has seen MLS in the top 20. I haven't seen one with MLS lower. And this is updated as of when's it? I don't know. It doesn't have a time of when it's been updated, so I don't know what the range is, but yeah. The lowest I've seen it ranked is 20th, but it's definitely a better league than in the English League One. Yeah, the English Championship is a higher. Like if he was playing in the for a championship club, that'd be different, right? Because the Championship club is almost like a top 10 league in the world.
Well,
it's
maybe,
like a division of English football. So
if he has a good first half for MK Dons, maybe his loan gets cut short and he gets loaned to a championship club. He moved clubs last year in the January window. So I'm just saying let's not give up on Troy Parrott quite yet.
Yeah.
Prospect growth is not linear. Not every player is just going to like steadily increase their stock. You can suffer setbacks and plateaus.
I got to disagree with some of my American friends here, though. MLS isn't poor. MLS is getting better. We are beating people in the Premier Division, Liga MX. Right, MLS clubs are getting stronger and stronger, not because of the talent that they're bringing in. So MLS used to be like this, thing where we just washed up people from overseas and had them play. We're not buying as many washed up players overseas, and you're seeing a lot more young players coming up and you're being bought. Like Gianluca Bugio went to Serie A.
Alphonso Davies from the
Alphonso
Vancouver
Davies
Whitecaps
came out of MLS. A lot of guys came out of MLS. McKinney.
Yep.
It's MLS is getting a better league, and our MLS only squad just kicked Mexico's butt in the Gold Cup. So it's definitely not an American bias. Trust me, if it was shit, I'd tell you it's shit. It has been shit, and it still smells like shit. But right now, it's just maybe a poopy piece of toilet paper. Thank you for that visual.
Will. What about Dane Scarlett? What do you see his role? You see him playing like Conference League and cup ties.
Yeah.
And then maybe.
I mean, he's in there. He's in FPL for the first time in his life, so he's in the first squad. So
yeah. Well, there hasn't been any discussion about loaning him out.
Right, but I mean, they could easily drop him down to the U23s. You know what I mean? Says we're having issues on streaming to Twitch. It's maybe an issue on Twitch's end. So if you are watching on Twitch, we are sorry that we've lost you. To be honest with you, sorry, Twitch folks, because nobody ever chats over there on Twitch. I totally forget that we even stream on Twitch. I push the button. But if you are watching on Twitch, not that you're not anymore because the stream has died, go ahead and follow us on Twitch. Or if you're watching on YouTube and you do things on Twitch, we are on Twitch and you can follow us over there as well. But yeah, everything that I've seen has seen MLS be ranked higher than the Scottish Premiership. As far as competition is concerned. But Dane Scarlett, I think the kids, but we need a stopgap. And I think Vlahovic, could you imagine Vlahovic at 21, Dane Scarlett at 17? So right amount of years in behind. Vlahovic is bigger and mature for his age than a lot of people are going to be. And so, yeah. I think it would be a perfect future pairing, you know? Dane a little bit faster, more agile. Vlahovic, the bigger target. I mean, it could be a little, you know. I think it could be a really good pairing going forward. I agree with Paul. Other than the big teams, I would rather watch MLS matches than Edelweiss and some of the Liga games. Even Bundesliga, to be honest, to fair with you, I'd rather watch MLS matches than low tier Bundesliga matches. It's more entertaining. I think it's more. There's more action. Yeah, well, sorry, view on Spurs. I disagree, man.
There must be a reason why you don't see very much in the way. Like I don't know. Can you think of anyone that's been loaned from the Premier League, from a Premier League club to an MLS club?
No, I mean, there's not many people. I haven't seen any Premier League club buy an American player straight out of MLS. They've always come from somewhere else. Josh Sargent, playing for Norwich now, has come from Bundesliga. Christian Pulisic came from Bundesliga. I think there's just a bias there. And no, it's not that there's a bias. What it is that they have that the FA, when it comes to signing players for their work visa, has MLS's coefficient is too low for them to qualify for the work permit. So they have to, if they go to another league with a higher coefficient and they start certain amount of matches, then they can come on a work permit. So it's the FA's discrimination against the US is what it is. So I think that's why they have to do that. Tempo and style of MLS is completely different to English leagues. I wouldn't say that the tempo is different. We're talking about tempo. The speed is faster, obviously. MLS is far more physical. Dirty stuff. I don't think it's that much different. I really don't.
Okay, Dan N makes a point here. We have a goalkeeper on loan in the MLS.
Yeah. Good point, Dan.
I wonder if you'll see more of that in the future.
I would hope so. Young guys coming into MLS.
Brandon Austin is American though, right?
I don't know. Could be.
I think he's American. That might have something to do with it as well. Oh no, he's English.
Yeah, because we don't have any rules like that in the U.S. In fact, you may start seeing that more because we don't have any. Once the COVID restrictions drop down, you can get work visas here in the United States. Super easy, especially if you're coming from the UK or Korea or any of the Canada, any of those places. I mean, heck, we've got celebrities that are never gotten a U.S. citizenship that have been living here for 20-something years, right? I mean, so right, all the famous Canadian people moved down here. But yeah, man, it is 3:30. It's time to wrap this bad boy. Put it to bed so that you can wake up the other one. And change this show's diaper, spank it on the bum, put it to bed.
Hopefully this show wasn't as shitty as that.
Yeah, no, I mean it probably was, to be fair. But it is, it's baby bums, right? It's not a weird thing. You see a baby bum, you gotta smack it. Am I wrong, Cody? Can you not smack a baby's bum? Like, see that little tush, and you just gotta.
I'm not gonna get into this on YouTube.
You're gonna leave me hanging out there on YouTube, huh?
No, I'm not gonna get myself clipped.
No, I'm
you're
wrong.
On your own. You're on an island with that one.
I got the guts to say it. Yeah, you got a little, when you're changing a baby's diaper, you got a little
I might
pat.
have to clip that actually.
Give it a clip. That was weird. How is that weird? How's paddling a baby on the bum weird? If you make that weird, then you got problems up here, I think.
The opinions and ideas expressed by Will Stewart on WillStewartTHFCRants are in no way representative of Cody Mack or the Cody Mack brand or at CoMacDo.
Go to sleep. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon here. Why would I go to sleep?
Oh man.
Why is paddling a baby's bum weird? That's not weird.
Let's just end the show.
Okay. But
the comments.
Right, that's what I do. I'm just being myself, man. It's only weird if you make it weird. But anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Any final words, Mr. Mack?
Thanks everybody for watching. Let's get our Conference League conquest underway on Thursday, as embarrassing as it is, and look for 3 more points on Sunday against Wolves, but I'm sure we'll talk before then.
Yeah, and I do want to make it fairly obvious that I am talking about your own children, right? Like if you're walking around paddling babies' bums that don't belong to you, that's
you really
probably
just should have left it at that.
Right? Yeah.
You've seen what people do with Daniel Levy statements, right? Like,
dude, I don't care, man. If look, when my kids were little babies, 6 months old or whatever, and I changed the diaper after you clean it all up and it smells all nice and fresh, you can put the powder on there, you give a little pop and say, good job, mate. And you're good to go. It's a cute thing. Babies are cute. What's wrong with having cute babies? All of my kids were cute. That's what you do. Here's to a great season, all the Spurs fans, wherever you are in the world. Good night. Take Cody's advice. Oh, why? Ha! I don't care. It's not weird to me because I don't have weird thoughts about little kids.
End the broadcast.
Touch little kids' bottoms. I'm not going to do it. Stay strong.
Stay strong. Stay Spurs.
We'll see you next.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's go now.
Bye.